Hey guys, it's Alicia here from We to 3 back for my 7 through 9 week update. Sorry I'm so late. I apologize. I know that you guys have probably been wondering, if you don't follow my Tumblr updates, where I've been and why it's been so long, and hopefully you haven't been worrying. I've been fine. It's just that we actually had some work done in our house. We had our hardwood floors redone and it required us to move out of our house for like 2 weeks nearly, pretty much throwing our whole life into chaos essentially. We were back and forth between like my parents' house and Eddie's parents' house, and it was just a plain old mess. And I, during that period of time, was also sick with a cold, super morning sick, and still just in the throes of my first trimester joy. So we basically just didn't have any chances to film. And then by the time we got home this last weekend, beginning of this week, I was so exhausted from that whole process that I couldn't even muster the energy to film. That is why I've been gone forever. I really apologize. I did not mean to go that long between filming. But I'm back, and I am, as of today, 9 weeks. So I have a lot of catching up to do, especially for you guys. There's a bunch of things that I realize that we haven't talked about, and so I'm just gonna get started, kind of starting from the beginning where I left off at my last bump date. My last bump date was my 6-week bump date, and I went through 7, 8, and then today I am 9 weeks. So I've missed essentially 2 weeks as far as symptoms and things that have happened. The biggest thing that's happened is that we did get to go to our ultrasound and see our baby and hear the heartbeat, and I'm gonna put up my ultrasound pictures here. So as you can see, I mean, at that point, it really does just look like a tiny little alien. It doesn't look like anything, but everything was on track. When we went in, I was about 7 weeks and change, like 7 weeks and 4 days. And it was measuring literally like to the day on track for that, which didn't really surprise me because I was on a Clomid cycle when we conceived and was being monitored by a reproductive endocrinologist, so it's kind of hard to miss when you ovulate during that cycle. So we did get to see everything checked out. The doctor was like, "You're great, no reason to worry," and that was awesome. It was a great experience. It was really nice also because the ultrasound was able to be done abdominally versus internally, which I've never had success doing that before. If you guys have been with us from the start, you know I've had a miscarriage before, and during that pregnancy, every ultrasound had to be done internally because you could never find anything in the abdominal ultrasound. And so that was already a big thing that gave me a lot of peace of mind when we went in, and they were able to find it right away. The heartbeat when we went in was measuring 162, which is, again, spot on. It's perfect, nothing wrong. We weren't able to hear it because it was too early with like a doppler device from the abdomen. Like, you can't really hear that early. But that brings up a good point in that today being 9 weeks, we are going to start looking for the fetal heartbeat with our at-home Doppler, and I will try and catch it on film if we get it.
It's hiding right by where. Look at the baby. Oh my god.
Symptoms for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to do a quick list of my symptoms. I've had morning sickness, headaches, sore chest, which has been really comfortable. I've also had back pain and sciatic nerve pain for sure. Exhaustion, like extreme fatigue, and pregnancy brain. I forget everything. Shortness of breath and decreased appetite. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Like I said in the beginning, I did have a cold last week, and unfortunately it's still kind of hanging around. If you can't hear, like, it's in my voice a little bit, and sometimes my nose will get really clogged, especially like back of the back, kind of on my soft palate. I've also been having kind of like a post-nasal drip while I sleep, so it's been making everything a lot harder as far as the pregnancy goes. It's been making it really hard to get comfortable when I sleep. It's been making me extra morning sick. It's really put me off my appetite, which has been the biggest thing for the last 2 weeks that we're kind of concerned about, and also like I'm trying to get around. I've moved past that stage of my pregnancy where I was hungry for everything, which I'm sure will be back eventually. And I've now moved into the stage where nothing sounds good. Any food just kind of sounds disgusting, which really stinks. I love food, and it's really upsetting that like nothing is okay at this point. I'm still kind of finding like every once in a while something that kind of hits the spot, and there's enough that sounds good that I can like eat maybe like 3 meals a day. Whether or not they're the most nutritionally sound meals is up for debate. Trying to get enough water has been really difficult because I have been so sick, and water really puts me off my appetite and makes me feel more morning sick, so that's been really hard. The other thing that's starting to get difficult, which I'm kind of upset that it started this early, but my sleep has just been terrible for like a good 2 weeks. I've just had really hard time getting really good rest. I've had a night or two here and there where I've gotten really great rest, and I feel better the next day, like completely. Like my morning sickness has all but disappeared on those days, and it's just a lot easier for me to feel better during the day when I've had good sleep. We've even resorted to already buying a snuggle, like a pregnancy pillow, so that I can try to get more comfortable. Right now, we're kind of in the stage where I can't tell quite yet if it's helping or hindering. I'm really hoping that that will start to go away, especially as my cold continues to like clear up. When I last left off, we were at 6 weeks. The baby was teeny tiny little baby, and now we've grown from like, I think we went to blueberry to raspberry, and now we're at green olive or pecan, which is really cool. Pretty much everything on the baby as far as like major internal organs and like major systems is all complete. It's just got a lot more developing to do, so that's super exciting. My favorite thing that I've been tracking with the pregnancy as far as the baby goes is actually a thing on Ovia's pregnancy app where they show you what your baby's hand size would be if your baby could put their hand on your smartphone, which is the cutest thing in the world. I'll insert a picture here right now. And it just says tiny baby hand. It's got this really cute little picture of how small the baby's hand would be if it was on your smartphone. The cutest thing in the world. It's like my favorite new thing. I know that I was talking about during my last bump date how it's been kind of hard to be pregnant as far as talking about it and having people ask you about it. After the ultrasound, it's gotten a little better. I still kind of feel like a science experiment when people ask me like how I'm feeling. I'm finding it less and less each week. So I'm feeling like more and more settled and comfortable into my pregnancy, which is really comforting and starting to feel like way better. Actually, today we sent out like our invitations for our gender reveal party and like are getting ready for that, which is now it's like this month, and I can't even believe that like we're gonna know the gender this month. That's crazy. I mean, as long as everything goes accordingly at our genetic testing appointment, but yeah, it's insane that time has now moved so quickly when it was moving so slow at the beginning. I will definitely say that our house projects, as annoying as they were, are probably helpful for that. Like they've helped time pass much quicker. The books that I have started reading, I actually finished the one that I'm looking over there because the title's over there. It's one that was majorly about like fear in pregnancy. I kind of like mostly flipped through it because a lot of the information in that one I knew, but I would stop every once in a while, things that kind of caught my eye. And it was actually the first pregnancy book that I actually like picked up, read quite a bit of it. But I am going to move on to Ina May Gaskin's birth book. I know she has a breastfeeding and a birth one. I'm going to start with the birth one, and I'm moving on to that because I'm finding when I pick up the pregnancy books more and more that I'm pretty familiar just from having been trying to conceive for so long and also following so many mommy vloggers on YouTube and on Tumblr that I know quite a bit about pregnancy. I pretty much know what to expect. I know when different tests during the pregnancy happen, different stages, what you might experience during those stages. All of that doesn't seem very new to me, but things about birth and what to expect in your birth and what you hope to get out of it besides just a healthy, beautiful baby and just all of that is something I'm much less familiar with. Otherwise, I actually don't have much else to update you guys on. I have 29 days left in my first trimester, and I am really excited for it to be over. I'm just really excited for the first trimester to be behind us, if you can't tell because I'm counting the days. I am super excited to be pregnant, and I love being pregnant, but I am really excited for our first trimester to be over and kind of behind us. I'm really ready to feel better. Right now it just kind of feels like I have the flu every day, which gets so exhausting, and it's also a beautiful, wonderful gift that I feel like that, and I love the gift, and I also would like to get to the point where I feel better now. My next midwife appointment is next week on the 8th. I will film an update probably next week after my midwife appointment. I will likely post it probably pretty late just because I know my midwife appointment's in the afternoon and then I have to get home and film, and it just might be up pretty late, or it might even be up like Friday or Saturday instead of actually on the day of my appointment. Like I said, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to update you guys. I hope you guys haven't been super worried about me and where I've been. I promise it's just me being exhausted and not anything wrong. And I would probably come on as soon as something happened if anything were wrong and let you guys know. I love your faces. I'm so sorry I'm so scatterbrained. I need to go take a nap. I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.